Fuso starting grid gives us the lineup of cars for race number 19 of the Championship Series, and it's David Reynolds. Done a great job this weekend, couple of pole positions with Craig Lowndes, then James Courtney and Scott McLaughlin. He's in a very good position for this one, McLaughlin. Then last race winner, Mark Winterbottom alongside Fabian Coulthard. Strategy caught them out in the last one. Will Davison and Jason Bright. Brighty is off to France tonight via Singapore for the Le Mans 24-hour. Then it's Jamie Whincup and Tim Slade. Another great performance in Darwin for Tim Slade, who really clicks with the place.
His car Tander 11th. Jonathan Webb has had a good run this weekend, a 4th and a 6th for the 2 races. His Techno Autosports teammate Shane Van Gisbergen was on the podium yesterday. Mauro Engel, SP Tools Racing, with David Wall, the Sydney sider, alongside of him. 3 years ago, Alex Davison claimed his only career pole position at this circuit. It's been a much tougher weekend this time around. There's Chaz Mostert in the top 10 yesterday, 7th, his best career performance. Scotty Pye, look out for him. He's got a really big bank of good, soft tyres. We understand he'll probably be the only man to start on them. Rick Kelly, the 2006 V8 Supercar champ, with Russell Ingall, the 2005 champion. And at the rear of the field, Alexander Premer, the Frenchman, with Tim Blanchard from DJR Wilson Security.
This Hidden Valley circuit is one of the great natural coliseums of Australian sport. It is incredible. The circuit is sunk down into the valley, and that means all around the edges, some 46,000 fans have been here over the weekend to take in the action. At the moment, as you look around from the pits, they are up against the fences. It is standing room only, and across above the pits, up in the corporate areas, they are lined shoulder to shoulder, 2 or 3 deep, to get a glimpse of the start of this race. The temperature is beautiful. That's why people from all over Australia love to come here at this time of the year. It was predicted for 30 degrees. It is currently 34. The track temperature is 45 degrees. It is warm. These are tough, hard conditions. If you're a spectator, it is absolute magic. These people are primed, they're excited, and guys, they're looking forward to a great start and a great race.
And now, as we switch our focus to the start of this race, I wonder whether David Reynolds picked up a cue from what happened to him yesterday with Jamie Whincup and the turn 1 battle when Whincup got around the outside. This time it'll be Craig Lowndes that tries to pull that move.
A bit slow to come down to 14, but when you're ready, just...
In terms of gamesmanship, Dave pulled up on the line a little bit early there. You should have been closer to Craig and not been... Look at all the smoke, steam coming out of the front of the Triple Eight car of Craig Lowndes. This will be a very important start.
Well, so far, it has been the day of the FPR fight back. Can David Reynolds keep that going?
Yes.
Good start.
And also another good start from James Courtney in 3rd. So the Bottle Ford will lead them down to turn 1. Lowndes slots into 2nd.
Oh,
big
Tander
dive on the inside from Tander, and that will force some contact with Will Davison.
Very aggressive move by Garth. Right now is the time to make places if you can. Bright's been elbowed, and round goes Slade. It's taken Bright with him, and into the wall goes David Wall.
Oh, this is big. Oh. That's Dean Fiore up on the side. It's one of the Altimas there. That's Russell Ingall involved with Alex Premer. They're all in the fence. This will be safety car. May even be red flagged. Red flag. That was very big.
Turn 1, red flag, red flag.
6 cars at least involved in this.
All cars to return to their original grid positions.
So Premer's going to be able to get out of it. They'll bring the cars back to the line. So that's Tim Slade on the left of screen. Lee Holdsworth, I think it was Michael Caruso. Dean Fiore, Russell Ingall. There is Rusty on screen. It's been a horror weekend. There's James Moffat. Spoke to him prior to the start of the race. The game over for Alex Premer. It is going to pluck 6 to 8 cars out of this race.
Well, let's see who actually got through, but got through damage. So you watch Jason Bright here in the Team BOC, car number 8. He gets pushed wide. That's the first sign of danger. Scott McLaughlin's in the middle of that one. Then it clicks up on Tim Slade on the left, who gets fired across. David Wall's got nowhere to go. And then it's just sandwich time. The key's in the middle of the road here. That's where the angst starts, and that's where it crunches. Oh.
Look at that. So that was Fabian Coulthard we were riding with then. So Tander shot down the inside, and then there was basically 3 into 2, didn't go with Slade, Bright, and was it Tander? Or was it 22? No, it was 33, it was McLaughlin. So still trying to unravel who did what to who here.
Dean Fiore's really lucky not to have rolled the Dodo insurance car. He'll arrive on the scene there. Look at that. Right up on 2 wheels, and then back down in the dust.
So the drama unfolded between the 2 cars. We were on board with Fabian Coulthard. We saw Scott McLaughlin, and he ended up, as they were bumping, he spun Slade. He went into the fence on the right with David Wall. He bounced back out. The other guys had nowhere to go, so Prema was right at the back, and he actually got caught very late with that. So did Russell Ingall. It's been a catastrophic weekend for Russell Ingall, just a shocker.
So Slade, Wall, Moffat, Holdsworth, Fiore, Ingall, Prema, Holdsworth. Whew. It's a full-blown roll call. A lot of damage on a lot of cars. We'll get it all sorted out, come back and continue the explanation.
When we left here last night, we wondered whether it could get any more chaotic than what unfolded in the 60-60. Well, in the space of just half a lap, almost a third of the field's been wiped out. Drivers are okay, cars different story. Let's check in on the grid.
There is major work going on the grid at the moment, Matty. This is Scotty McLaughlin's Fujitsu car. The rear is being worked on, but here's where the action is at the front. Have a look at that rim. The tyre has actually stripped off the rim. Now, where has it gone? It is being dislodged. It is in there. The tyre has gone inside there. So what they've got to do now is get the gear out here, get that off and get that replaced. Scotty McLaughlin was right amongst the action in there. Scotty, that is a wild start.
Yeah, mate, it was wild. Yeah, I lost my data page, so I didn't have throttle percentage off the start, so I got a massive amount of wheel spin. I was on the back foot, and, man, I just had nowhere to go. I was sandwiched, and, yeah, sorry to whoever got involved in that, but, yeah, I think people on the inside didn't know that I was there, or had people on the outside, so, yeah, it's just annoying, man. I can't up a break at the moment.
Mate, catch your breath. We'll start it all again.
Yeah, cheers, man. Thanks.
Got Lee Holdsworth down here, mate. You've just got out of the car. See, they've pulled the pin on the car, mate. A lot of damage in the rear there. Lee, we just want to try and roll the vision, see if you get to have a look at this this incident, mate. What was your read from the driver's seat? There was so much going on.
Yeah, I actually got a pretty bad start and came out of turn 1 and saw someone run wide on exit, and I thought it was David Wall, and someone collected him, and I saw him spear across the track. Next minute, cars going everywhere, and I think I ended up T-boning someone. Someone ran into the back of me and caused a fair bit of damage. It's a shame for Irwin Racing, but yeah, I thought we might be able to get it back on track and hopefully, restart, but there's a lot of damaged cars. We've got a lot of work to do before the next meeting.
Right,
unfortunately, we got 2, I think it's 2 in the accident. I don't know whether Maro got caught up as well.
Well, there's a positive, mate. You're in a very safe car, so better luck next time, buddy.
Cheers, mate. Thanks.
Similar story here for Team BOC and Jason Bright. The left-hand side of the car is literally smashed. Punctures on both the front wheels, so they're working on that at the moment, just replacing those entire wheels. And Brighty's just in there at the moment, just briefing with his crew, but clearly he was right amongst what was happening in there. Brighty, what went on out there?
Oh, no idea. I mean, I was on the outside of turn 1, and I just kept on getting pushed and pushed and pushed almost into a spin, and and then I just got shoved off the track and we bounced off each other. Freaking hell. I felt like a bit of a ping pong ball for a while there, and then we managed to get through it, but yeah, the car's pretty bent up.
All right, mate, we wish you good luck for this.
Yeah, cheers.
So amazing scenes here at the start of this 19th race. Thankfully, all drivers okay. So still red flag conditions. They won't be going anywhere for a few minutes. Quick break at Hidden Valley.
Well, Jamie Whincup, it was all happening right in front of you out there.
Yeah, high action. I don't know if you got the replay or not, but Garth made a cracker start and the big lunge into 1, so that was pretty cool. And then I saw craziness going on behind us, so yeah, I knew it was going to be a big shunt, but I didn't know it was going to be red flag.
A very good effort to keep the car straight by you.
Yeah. Now we're going to do it all again. That's the fun bit.
All right, mate. Good luck.
Cheers. Thank you.
Thanks, Brett.
Have some fun, mate.
Confirming, Tim. Start has been aborted. Standing by for a new 5-minute signal. Not aborted, mate. Or another way. Couple of guns with there, mate. They've just aborted that start. We're going to have to wait another 5 minutes. They've aborted that one.
As you can imagine, with an incident of this size and this scope involving this many cars, there's a lot to clean up, and hence the restart has now been delayed by a further 5 minutes. This extreme slow-mo still makes it hard to understand, boys, just how it all started. Look at the far right-hand side of screen, the tyre bundles shooting up into the air as Dean Fiore's car goes ploughing into it.
Well, I've got a count going so far of at least 12 cars that have got pretty substantial damage. Some of them won't make it back for a restart. There's this cracker of a start that Tander got down the inside when he shot down and really made a lot of ground. But the whole problem of 3 cars into 2 not going here, it's Bright, Slade and McLaughlin. And that's what the trigger was. And then everybody else, because of the proximity of the other cars, also close on the exit of turn 1, lap 1, and bam, into the fence.
And the thing you've got to get into perspective, it's the first lap, but they're still doing 190 kilometres an hour there. So you're going fast, and as soon as the drama starts to unfold, cars see it, they brake. A lot of the action was cars actually getting hit from behind. So David Wall, he actually just got served off the road. So this is where it all started. That's McLaughlin, that's Slade. Brighton gets by, Slade in the fence. Then on the left, everyone's going in there. You can see there, Holdsworth got hit after the fact. So did David Wall. Prema was one of the last guys too. He was involved right at the end with Russell Ingall.
Okay, so they've got that tyre out of Scotty McLaughlin's car, and that's the damage it's done. That's a thing called a toe link. That's what you adjust your wheel alignment at the front of the car. So the rod end on the end there is actually should look like that end. Looks like that end. I just heard the boys said, quick, check the toe, check the toe. Now, what that means, normally they would wheel align the car with string lines because this determines where your front wheels point. But what you can do, actually, I'll chuck that back in there. Rich, if you come over here with me, if you actually get down on the ground, you can look along the side of a race car, or any car really, and line up the front edge of the front rim, the back edge of the front rim against the rear rim. Now, it's not perfect, but it'll be good enough to go racing.
Just with Garth Tander, and Garth, a lightning start off the line for you, which was fantastic, but it all unfolded a bit from there.
Yeah, I got a good start, got off the line, and I think it was Will that was in front of me in the FPR car, jumped on the brakes about 100 metres too early, swerved around him, and I think we're about fifth at that point, and the red flag came out, so I hope everyone's all right. Sounds like it was reasonably big, but yeah, hopefully I can get this race started. We're obviously close on time getting the race going, so we'll get the race started and try and do that start again, but I think the boys up the front are ready and waiting now.
What do you do, mate? Just try and wipe that from your mind and push on?
Yeah, you just forget it ever happened. You know, obviously everyone will get a different type of start now. Our starts traditionally are quite good. Now that I've said that, I've put the mocker on myself. I'll get a shocker in this one. So, yeah, forget that ever happened. Obviously need to readjust. It's going to be a different race distance, see what that does with strategy, and get ready for the next race.
We look forward to seeing another great start. Well done.
Thanks, Brett.
That's the job for the guys who will head on back and line up for this restart to push the reset button and see what will unfold. So we're still in a holding pattern here at Hidden Valley.
Signal, 2 minutes signal.
Just got Brad Jones with me. Brad, I just noticed you're looking at this damage here. I can see your tyre's very, very exposed here and some sharp edges. You concerned?
Yeah, I'm worried about the top of it there. You can see that it's hanging right on the tyre, and I don't know that it's going to do the whole race, so it's not a lot we can do about it now. We just need to see what happens, but, you know, a lot of cars damaged in that one.
Yeah, if I just stick my fingers, it will actually look at that. That's actually touching. It's a good chance we're going to see tyre smoke off this car first time down the straight, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. But hopefully it'll burn away a bit of the guard and we'll be sweet, but we'll see what happens.
All right, thanks, Brado.
Thank you.
Seconds, 30 seconds.
What a mess. 21 cars are left after the first half lap of this race this afternoon. So 7 victims of that huge accident.
Green flag, formation lap commencing.
And the rest of the field is still a bit of a patchwork quilt as well. There's race tape everywhere. And we got yellow flags off this formation lap. Fabian Coulthard. So we finally got to the point where we could grid up for a restart. And car 14 is stuck.
And a lot of time when you're sitting there and you've got the cool suit going, it will have had a pretty big impact on the battery life. So he wouldn't have tried to start it.
It in and out of gear. I guess it's electrical. Is it clicking at all or not? Yeah, it's clicking. Bang it in and out of gear a couple of times.
We don't know whether it's going to start or it won't get first gear. So it's got a neutral, so that's a sequential gearbox.
To push me a bit.
So he's trying to, he can't get first. Just give it a little push. Here we go. Just see whether this engages the starter motor. Oh, they're going to... So this is not going to happen. They're just going to latch this car and drag it off.
He's got it. He's got
it started. It's a goer.
It's a miracle.
But it'll be... He won't be able to take his spot.
Yeah, he'll be at the back of the grid.
Yeah.
That's still better than the other.
Thankfully, the grid's not as long as what it was.
Yeah, what's left of the grid. Now, this will completely change the strategy of the event as well. The race will run to a time certainty, and that'll mean...
Turn one, you've got time, but you need to go right now. Go right now.
And that means that people will get onto their soft tyres earlier because we're going to be dealing with a shorter race.
So Fabian will probably have to come into pit lane and start from pit lane as a consequence of being pushed.
You have to demonstrate that the car can start under its own steam. To the category technical manager, to Frank Adamson, the CTM.
Now, Dave should have pulled up he should have made that lap as slow as you possibly can. Remember, we said there was a huge amount of pressure on him last time. He made a fantastic start. It was one of the best starts he's made in his career. Got to do it again.
Confirmation, boys, that this will not go the 35 lap distance. It will be time certain. So the count that you will see on your screen will take us to the time that this race will finish. And it's roughly about 30 minutes from now. So Fabian Coulthard have to pull into pit lane here.
He's going to go to the back.
He's not going to do it.
It might be... Yeah.
So maybe it's...
Sort that out after anyway.
Maybe it started without a push.
Move to your position.
Anyway, it's a staggered start all over the shop because there's 7 cars missing from the grid. Now we get to do it all again. How will these guys handle this, especially our pole sitter David Reynolds, who got a ripper in the first start.
And
got
again.
a nice good jump again in this one. So the delay didn't affect him. Bit more running room second time around. A lot less clutter. This is where it all started to unfold. Reynolds leads Lowndes through. James Courtney in third.
Just wait and watch to see who jumps onto soft tyres. Big moment for McLaughlin. Crossed up on the entry into 5. Big time. That was close.
Yeah, and Will Davison suffered as a result of that. Look, Pepsi Max car number 6 runs in to Garth Tander up at turn 6. The Jamie Whincup tucked in behind him.
Cars are being queued. They're talking to them already about coming in this lap. I can hear rattle guns in the background, so stand by for some pit action here as well. You've got Lowndes breathing all over the back of Reynolds. Might be worth waiting a lap here and there, depending on who you are and where you are in the queue. But we'll certainly see some action here. In with Lowndes, so he wants to be clear of Davey as soon as he can. So Lowndes has come in, Winterbottom has come in.
Right, I've got a visual on you there.
Good half dozen of them.
Drive through the Erebus garage, driving through the Erebus pit garage. Oh, mate's going to give you a heads up there. It's a rather quick stop, so I need you on the clutch and the brake. No spinning of the wheels, and just leave it in gear for me, please.
So 35 minutes past the hour plus a lap is the cut-off time. So they're working to the available slot. They know they can run the softs for longer.
Offside, mate. Cold soft tyres. Good out lap. Still guys out there circulating. Looking like a 25 or 6 lap race. So a bit longer than the stint we did.
But obviously, yeah, we just need to go faster. What the hard guys are doing now out there.
And just as I say that, the information's come up on the computer timing now that race control has deemed that the race will go to 38 minutes past the hour local, plus 1 lap. How is that? That is a full-blown motocross tank slapper, and Scott McLaughlin barely got it back in shape again.
And we thought it come from him by himself, but it wasn't. It was contact with Will Davison. That's a very, very good save by the young New Zealander. Good driving.
And I reckon that Cam McConville, the driving standards observer, will be here till about Wednesday week, unravelling some of what's gone on in the last half an hour. Certainly won't be getting an early plane out. So more cars in now for soft tyres, led by Garth Tander, Jamie Whincup, Will Davison, Shane Van Gisbergen and Jason Bright, and they're all joined together as one car.
There'll be drama here because you've got to get out. They'll all be the same as they go to get out. And the guy in the pit lane will be the one that gets hurt. So the guy on the end of pit lane will be best. Watch for this because there will be absolute drama getting into the fast lane. How do you get out? He gets away with it. Very good stop. So he jumps the whole lot of them. Whincup has jumped them. Whincup has jumped them there. That was a very, very good stop. So Tander and Will Davison stay in the train. Van Gisbergen also. But the Red Bull stop was clearly the best. Very important stop in that critical phase of the race. Dave Reynolds is making hay. He's done the fastest lap time now, 11.7. But he'll have to come in soon because the guys on...
Yeah, they'll cross over and quickly.
Exactly, there he is. So he's about to come in. So Dave Reynolds, your leader, is in pit lane. Critical stop.
Hey, let's just have a close look at this pit stop. We showed you before the importance of the positioning of this wheel. Let's watch. Wheel off. This man, he's got to get that in straight and hard. That's his role. That's where these guys are doing a much better job, and away they go. Well done.
That was great. That was a very, very good stop, those guys.
Now, has he lost ground to Lowndes, though, who got onto the soft earlier?
Reynolds is just leaving pit lane.
Craig's half a chance to grab him.
Down to turn 1.
Got him.
Got him.
That's what happened in the delay process. So he's given track position to Lowndes. Courtney out of business, pulling off to the side on the run to turn 6. What's he saying? Watch this stop here because this might be a rotation before he hits the ground. Wheel spin. Be interesting to see how that one gets called.
So James Courtney in a precarious position here with no power in car 22.
They might have to put the safety car out here. Has he got it going? It sounded like he might have just got it to light up. Best thing to do with these things is to turn them right off. Turn the mains off. That's Rob Starr talking to him. It's Rob there.
No, something's failed. It's turning over and then the starter motor dies, but it's just got no ignition.
And initially it doesn't engage.
Yeah.
Safety car boards and flags, safety car boards and flags, safety car.
So there'd been enormous heat soak went into the cars also when they stopped at the end of that first lap. Man, it's all going on in the top end this afternoon. We'll take a break. We'll come back.
How much pressure are we there than everyone else in the truck? I'm out. Mate, not much really. Yeah, they've obviously come in. A couple of those guys have quit straight away. But yeah, no, we've got that long road to do. We're about to the bar. You want?
You're on the scene, car 22 over. With it now, Tim, we're just loading it onto the truck. Okay, thank you. Safety car, you can lift your speed to 80, lift your speed to 80.
Safety car, increase speed to 80.
Make sure your yellow lights on. Yellow lights on. Yeah.
Who hit me first lap going through the S's, man? Far out. I had to hold on to that one. Oh, Dodge. Yeah, I don't know.
The STP Pettis safety car is in control of the field. 21 minutes to go. This is the big news at the moment. Spinning wheels, a pit stop investigation for car number 1, Jamie Whincup, our championship leader. Just before it drops.
I would say he's in strife. James Courtney, what a good weekend it has been for him so far, and that's why he's got a smile on his face, although you're never happy about sitting out. There's Rob Starr having a laugh. Simon McNamara there, the head of motorsport for GM Holden. And the way that looks for Rob, he won't be that happy about this race, but he'd be very happy about the weekend's performance and a real resurgence for those guys. He's worked so hard over the years. He's the heart and soul of a race team like that, and a man who's had great success.
He's cheering from the outer.
Probably should get in the car and get out of there, I would think, at some stage.
He's cheering from the inner. A good turnaround, and clearly that test down at Winton has started to pay dividends for the Holden racing team. Let's hope they can roll it into Townsville.
So the engineering team here for the Holden racing team will go around the back here, because there's another bunch of guys around the back here, including the master. Sorry to interrupt. Sorry to interrupt, Steve. I wouldn't do it, except I saw James sitting on the bonnet out there of a car. What do you suspect the drama is?
It's electrical of some sort. We think it's a sensor on the engine, which is a great shame because we're in good order. But until we get it back and we can interrogate the car a bit more, we won't really know.
Steve, clearly you are in good order. I had a good chat to James this morning. He's really happy about the way he feels in his car. He likes the way the steering feels. Don't know that it's worked out well for Garth at the moment, but certainly got James on his way.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a long, complex process, but we're getting there. I think the results this weekend are starting to show that.
No doubt about that. It's great to see. In fact, it was really great to see FPV, or Ford Performance Racing, and HRT up there racing. It was great. Well done.
Wrong order.
Yeah.
There's Mark Dutton, Adrian Burgess and Jeremy Moore at the table here, and they're just trying to break down the wheel spin issue. Of course, Jeremy in charge of Craig Lowndes. Dutto has the job of counselling and guiding a defending series champion. So we've hardly had any racing, as you all know, but
green this lap, mate. So last bit of temp while you can. Last bit of temp while you can.
one of the winners out of this safety car intervention is David Reynolds. Remember, he got jumped by Craig Lowndes
80 kilometres an hour.
when it came to the pit stops and getting the soft tyres on. Reynolds was a couple of laps in after. Now the field's compressed. It puts him back in this picture. And he's got a clear look, or a good close look now at Lowndes in front of him. Remember, he got dudded last time around in the safety car restart. He didn't hear it, he missed it, and Jamie Whincup took advantage. Doubt it'll happen again. Larko?
Yeah, Matty, I did dive in and had a quick chat to Rod Nash about that. I was surprised they left him out there to get undercut like that. He felt the time was more lost in the pit stop, which might be as a consequence. They're being a little more careful, as we showed you, to engage that wheel, maybe cost them a little bit of time.
There is Rod Nash looking on. Okay, this is absolutely critical. Only 17.5 minutes worth of racing to go. We'll take you ad-free to the end of this race.
Go. Green flag.
Lowndes has got another lead. The Red Bull car definitely pulled away a touch. The question is, how much?
Much more even, but, mate, that was a good restart for everybody. Certainly the first 5 cars were very close.
Oh,
Davison and Tander bumping along the straight at 260 kilometres an hour. Van Gisbergen now tries to dive down the inside of Davison. This will have some problem on the exit.
That could have been catastrophic.
Car 1 pit stop infringement, so there'll be a drive-through pit lane penalty for Jamie Whincup for wheel spinning in that stop. So he's being, teams are being advised on the race management channel, so the teams around the car in question are always advised because they don't want their drivers to get in a battle with somebody that's going to peel off the racetrack. Lowndes, Reynolds, Winterbottom, Whincup, Webb, then Tander and Davison. How wild was that down the straight where they were making contact before they got to the braking area?
That's happened the whole time.
Shane Van Gisbergen just got it up on 2 wheels over the curb.
So this has big championship implications. We always say this guy has been such a dominant force in the sport over the last few years. He's doing a great job, but today, right now, he's going to lose 50 points when he goes out of 4th position and lobs back into 20th position. So 50-point loss. That was a bit of a smile then from Chris O'Toole from FPR, who liked that penalty. That's the level of competition there is between the lead teams.
Watch this.
It's the weave in a straight line. There's always very easy to have a massive crash out of that one.
Jamie Whincup's engineer Mark Dutton just with me. Penalty for Jamie, drive-through penalty.
Yeah, we're not sure if he was selecting a gear. Didn't seem to do a full revolution, but the rules say you can't spin in the air. The wheels turned, so we come through the pit lane.
Okay, so just got to cop it.
Yeah, you do, mate. Them's the rules.
Thanks, John.
Cheers, mate.
So Mark Dutton, that's actually a very responsible way of going about it. I mean, mistakes get made in this game because you're trying to do that pit stop in 4 to 5 seconds. And that was one very close. The wheel just spun as it was being dropped. And the reality is, they are the rules. Mark Dutton, get on with life, which is exactly what he's done. Jamie Whincup back in 20th. And as we said, a 50-point penalty applied to the series leader, last year's champion.
So Mauro Engels inside the top 10 in the Mercedes-Benz at the moment. That's good. Tony D'Alberto is 10th. Jason Bright got a shocking start again. I noticed that he got swamped right at the very beginning. It hasn't been a great weekend. Little margin now for Lowndes over Reynolds. It's just on 1 second. The top 3 have just eased away ever so gently from Jono Webb.
Yeah, to my point, it's about the same gap back to Winterbottom. What a solid weekend it's been for Jonathan Webb. He should have been on the podium the way he's been travelling this weekend. They have a really good habit at Techno Autosports of working in tandem. It's rare that one has a good and one has a bad weekend. Webb and Van Gisbergen, that's been the way they've operated.
Coulthard there, was race winner in the US. Wounded car, tucked in behind Todd Kelly. 15th at the moment. Probably got weird wheel alignment. You can see the gear position indicator is 6 down the straight. A little tap of the brake pedal just to make sure that he's got brake pressure. Can see a little bit of that smoke in evidence on the front left corner of the car that Brad and Mark Larkin were talking about prior to the start of the race.
Fabian then purposely rested the front of the Commodore on the back of Todd Kelly's Nissan Altima, and he has a dive down here. He's going to get it done.
Just.
Ooh, with a bit of contact.
Not there yet because he ends up on the outside at 6.
This won't serve him well. Lucky there's a little bit of a gap behind.
It's one of the few places in the country where you can see the boys use first gear. They do down at the hairpin in Tasmania as well. got to really manage wheel spin off that hairpin when they're in the low gear.
So the lead Mercedes-Benz is Maro Engel in 9th position. Michael Caruso, Rick Kelly and Todd Kelly, they're the 3 Nissan Altimas in 12th, 13th and 14th respectively.
Got no straight line, engine's too hot, front still damaged.
That's Fabian's voice, Fabian Coulthard in the background. So he'll be seeing an engine temp warning when the water temp gets too high, and that tends to rob power. One small consolation for Whincup is that depleted field means that even though he's at the back of it, he's actually in 20th, which there's some points for. It's a small consolation, but not as bad as it could have been otherwise.
So that curve, that shot, is a fantastic shot of turn 4, that roller coaster before you run into turn 5. The cars do 215 kilometres an hour over that little rise. Very hard to get the cars settled. And then through that little infield piece in the valley, and then up to the top of the hill here. We're looking at Garth Tander chasing down Jonathan Webb. As they get to the top of the hill at turn 10, the cars do 197 kilometres an hour, almost 200k again as they go left.
So Whincup in for tyres. So 20th, which is as far back as he can be at the moment, because Courtney's showing on timing and scoring, but he's out of the race. He's good for 30 points. And he's getting well out of the way of the traffic there.
Oh,
there's a bit of traffic here. Look at this. Coulthard down the inside of Todd Kelly. And Jamie's had to drive all the way down in the marbles all the way to 1 because there was such a freight train coming.
I was surprised that Fabian took that move there, because the last time we heard from him, he was just reporting nothing doing out of that car 14, but he's decided to press on and be aggressive. So from one Kelly brother to the other, he's now got Rick in his sights.
Caruso having a look at Tony D'Alberto, has done a good job over the weekend. He's been in his garage most of the weekend, and those guys have made the car quite good in terms of looking after its tyres. He's currently in 11th position.
They're showing the bad sportsmanship flag to Todd Kelly for blocking.
It's over now anyway. I think that was really about the
previous
Coulthard pass. On board again with Fabian.
Otherwise the engine won't make it.
That's Phil Keed. So just saying we need to get some clear air into the front of this thing. That doesn't help the cause when it comes to trying to make the pass, but he needs to get to the end. He's actually losing ground to the Nissan down the straight then.
So Mark Winterbottom here tucked in behind David Reynolds, and probably just getting an inch or two closer here or there. Under 10 minutes remaining. Craig Lowndes is the leader by 1.2 seconds.
And Craig Lowndes, based on that, Matt, if they stay in their current positions, he will have gained 70 points on the series leader at the moment, Jamie Whincup, from 227-point gap before the start of race 19 back to 157.
Of the active drivers at the moment, other than Mark alongside us, who's got a big bunch of wins at this racetrack, Lowndes on target here to extend what was 5 wins. And he was a winner here on the Sunday last year as well. It's a place that he typically has done pretty well at over the years. It's come in bursts, but he looks pretty comfortable out there at the moment. He's just recorded a 1 minute 10.8, although he was fractionally slower that lap than David Reynolds.
He won the first ever race here at Hidden Valley. Overall, Russell Ingall won the first ever round. And here's Jamie Whincup. So that's the provisional standings. As you mentioned, Scafie, 157 would be the difference if it continues along this way. So what started out yesterday as a good day for Red Bull Racing Australia and this man has not gone to plan today.
I think Whincup may have come in and just taken the good soft tyres off the car just to preserve them.
Use them for later, because they're all talking about depleted tyre banks at the moment, so that's not a bad ploy. Several of the drivers I spoke to over the weekend are talking about banking tyres for races that are so far down the road. It must be very difficult to do, because you want to try and pull the trigger and use them now. But they're talking much further up the road, Sandown, Bathurst, etc.
Here we go, Chaz Mostert into the back of Todd Kelly.
So you don't need to do that. That's an avoidable level of contact in there like that. So young Chaz, very inexperienced. He's actually got the most experienced guy right behind him in Russell Ingall. That'll keep him fired up.
And they've both got really good-looking cars at the moment, haven't they? Big crunch in the front of car 12, race tape all over Russell's car, flapping in the wind.
There's not too many that look pristine. There's only about 3 or 4 at the front that have come out of this unscathed.
There's a couple in the car park that look better.
So Lowndes, 0.96 now, Crompo. So last lap there, Reynolds just brought that gap back just slightly again.
And I think a couple of things playing out there, Scafie, is that Reynolds was getting a hurry along from Mark Winterbottom. Remember, they were all sort of... you hold your breath. The top 3...
I've seen that movie.
...had exactly the same gap from the restart.
Yeah, I've seen you in it.
You've caused most of it.
That's right.
So Reynolds looks like he might have a little bit more pace here at the moment. We'll stay on board with him.
7 to go. Drive your strength, nice and smooth. You're doing a good job, mate.
We'll have a look and a listen and see whether he can narrow down the margin.
I mentioned he was getting a hurry along from Mark Winterbottom. You were riding with David Reynolds. Winterbottom got as close as he's been this race to overtaking David Reynolds. And now the pressure is well and truly on. And all this is good news for Craig Lowndes, who's now 1.7 seconds clear.
Yeah, mate, drive your strength. Eyes forward, mate, eyes forward.
And it's the sort of thing that happens all the time, Matt. As soon as there's a dice like that and you're leading, you always want those guys to get caught up in this dice. Down the inside, Winterbottom, good pass. We saw the drama yesterday. That's a much better decision for both these guys to get on with it. Dave Reynolds knows that Mark Winterbottom's got car speed. He's let him go, and what actually happens now is you hook up behind and you go and find Craig Lowndes.
And with the cars out of breath down there in top gear at 7,500 revs, being the follower actually serves you a little bit better, because when you pop out behind the slipstream, you get a couple of extra revs. When you're Davey, then you're just on the hard cut. There's just nowhere to go. You can't produce any more performance. Now he's after Lowndes here, Winterbottom. We'll see what the sector splits look like. He was 2/10 quicker in the first sector than Craig. He had to pass a car, obviously, in the process. This next lap will be telling, because they'll both get a good clean lap, and we'll focus carefully on the lap speed. Davey's under threat now from Jonathan Webb. It's the Techno Autosports entry behind.
So Lowndes had the gap of 0.96. He's now got a gap of 1.99 whilst the two FPR cars sorted themselves out. Now Winterbottom's on the trail.
So this is the indicative lap.
And he did the same lap time, Mark Winterbottom, as Craig Lowndes, and that included passing a car, which you know is going to take some time away from you.
Now, we heard Fabian Coulthard from out there a minute ago saying about just how hot his car was. Now, this is typical of any team. This is Erebus, but you can see the bank of data and data engineers here looking, and typically you'll have strategy-type screens. If I duck under here, these sorts of black screens and these screens over here will be data-type screens to do with car performance. Here's some engine guys, and they'll be looking at engine-type data. Now, I can see down here, they're running at about 100 degrees centigrade. I looked at Fabian Coulthard's over there. I'm not even going to tell you because you won't believe me. It was off the dial. I can't believe the thing's still going.
Yeah, well, we heard Phil Keith, Larko, talking about the fact that if he didn't find some cooler air, he wasn't going to make it to the end of the race. Funny thing happened yesterday with Will Davison. When it plucked the lower radiator hose off it, when they spit all the water out, you don't get a temperature alarm because there's nothing to read. So there is no alarm for too cold, even though it's actually the opposite. The thing was melting itself. So they did an engine change on car 6 last night, and they had no choice.
So there is Coulthard, still stuck behind Rick Kelly. So under 3 minutes. Remember, a time finish here. The clock counting down to the checkered flag. When we find the leaders again, I think you'll find that Jonathan Webb is knocking on the door of David Reynolds. Webb is yet to stand on the podium this season. He's had 3 fourth-place finishes. Darryl Lee entry has been right in the mix this weekend. So there's our race leader. Craig Lowndes, 5-time race winner at this circuit. The gap is 1.4 seconds now to Mark Winterbottom, so he's chipped half a second away. On the podium provisionally, David Reynolds. Webb tucked in behind him. Only 2 or 3 laps left in this one.
Yeah, Frosty's, you can just even see as he came off turn 10 there, he's driving it like a qualifying lap at the moment. He has to. He's got no choice.
3 laps to go. 1.5 car behind, mate.
So let's do a lap speed check here.
Oh,
What's
this is
all going
ugly.
on? Up the inside is Mostert. He's given Todd Kelly a push. Now Lowndes has done 11.3. The pushing continues and continues and continues. And Todd feeds him off the road, sends him to the grass for his trouble. So 11.3 and around
Kelly.
they go.
Well, that was just tit for tat, dodgem car stuff all the way down the bottom of the hill. Mostert started it. They continue to keep on bumping. And that's Todd parked off the road.
0.4 faster on the last lap, Winterbottom than Lowndes. He did a 10.9 on the last lap, Frosty. Here it is, the run into 10. Mostert on the inside, gives Todd a clobbering. Todd doesn't like that idea, puts a bit of left lock on it, sends him to the grass, and then it continues down here on the run to the final corner and finally ends up in the side of it. Here's another angle. You can see them both wrestling the wheel. Chaz had nowhere else to go, and then he gives him a tagging for his trouble. And they sort of self-cancelled each other in the end, didn't they?
Look at this.
It's getting close.
This is great stuff.
So while all that nonsense was going on back in the field, it was 0.4 was what I was trying to spit out the gain for Winterbottom. It's a big chunk that he was making. You can see it on the graphic at the bottom of screen. The lap speed this time round for Lowndes is 1:11.7. Half a second gain by Winterbottom, a 1:11.2. Frosty's on the charge.
How's the encouragement from James Small, his engineer? A bit more, mate, a bit more.
Driving tight and straight and neat. Lowndes will begin to feel the pressure here because he'll see that car in the mirror. And the harder he pushes, the more his car will slide. He's vulnerable here at the moment, Lowndes. This matters. Frosty's had a shocker of a start to the season. A terrible day yesterday. He's recorded a win. He'll be hungry for another.
1.5 laps left in this one.
His car looks good.
Get the lights on.
I mean, it just looks good, doesn't it? It's sitting straight. Craig's going to have to make sure that he doesn't excite the loaded rear tyre here, the right rear. It'd be very, very easy to overheat it at this point.
We're so used to seeing Craig Lowndes do so many remarkable things, but this weekend, the highlights have been the poor efforts, the tiny little mistakes. So this has got to be mistake-free.
Much better corner exit for Winterbottom. He doesn't need to use as much road at the moment. He squares off the exits and loads both rear tyres. He's now well and truly in the draft, and Lowndes is going to have to make sure that he drives this car ultra straight. We are just about out of time. Is this it? This is the last lap.
Yep.
So it's now or never in turn 5. He's sliding Craig Lowndes. So watch Winterbottom. He's on him. He's going to hurry him along through the S's. Look for him to dive to the inside, but Lowndes has done it many times and he goes to the inside to cover.
Covers at 5. Frosty will push him all the way up to turn 6. Little bit of a lock-up, gets it sideways, has to go wide around the valley where the crowd is going nuts. Holden and Ford at the front of this field are dueling to the very end.
The crowd's loving it. Next critical corner is turn 10. Can Frosty get up the inside or the last corner at 14? It's one more corner exit would also make a big difference on the run to the flag. They get through 10 cleanly. Lowndes just trips over the curbing slightly, and so does Frosty. He drives shallow into 14. Frosty's looking for the fast exit. If he gets a better exit, it might be on. Watch this, it'll be very close at the line.
Lowndes is going to hold
You're
him
unreal.
off.
Fantastic job.
He holds off a fast finishing
Thanks,
Frosty
JJ.
Winterbottom
Not much left.
with nothing left.
What a great
finish, huh? David Reynolds holds on to 3rd. And Jonathan Webb in 4th. That is skill, that is class, and that is V8 supercar racing at its best.
Good race.
Great
When it
race.
finally got all tidied up and went into normal mode, the back end of that was very enjoyable, wasn't it? Great exchange between those two, very professional. Good racing between Red Bull Racing and Pepsi Max Ford Performance Racing. Lowndes prevailing. Frosty got a ripper exit there, and it wouldn't have needed to be another 100 metres long.
Well, he was done. It was the end of the race. It was one more lap, he was gone. Yeah.
Davey Reynolds hung on for third.
Craig, are you in there? It's a good thing he knows his way around here. He's done every event here since 1998. Because the visibility wouldn't be too high in the cockpit of car 888 at the moment. 92nd career win for Craig Lowndes. David Reynolds on the podium. Shane van Gisbergen 6th. And there's Scott McLaughlin. A great effort from Maro Engel. So Mercedes inside the top 10 and those two Nissans just outside of it. Chaz Mostert in 17th. So Jamie Whincup finishes in 19th position. That hurts his championship lead, especially with Craig Lowndes, who was 224 points adrift of him coming in here, closing that gap by winning this race. The third time that Lowndes has won a race this season. He started the weekend with some mistakes costing him dearly, and now he's answered back. So it really has been a day of redemption, hasn't it? Ford Performance Racing earlier with Mark Winterbottom winning and effectively clearing up the mess that was created in the 60-60 Super Sprint, and likewise on a personal level for this man.
Look, the smoke.
It's time to quit the habit, Lounsey. Jeremy Moore there celebrating. So 6 race wins here at Hidden Valley. So popular. Wasn't that great to see the crowd up around turn 10 and along there just going berserk?
Craig Lowndes, well done. That is a championship-defining weekend. Not only have you had great results here, but you've taken yourself to within striking distance for the lead of the championship.
Oh, that's great news. Look, I'm not sure what happened to Jamie. I know he came out of the pits, but to all our guys, look, fantastic job. I didn't have much left for Frosty. I know he was coming.
That was a great duel towards the end. You're going to need some new tyres, Lounsey, too.
Yeah, I think I might have to. Thanks, Brett.
All the best. Wow. Frosty, what a great weekend for you. I mean, what a great day. You talked about getting it back, getting back on top. You've done just that. You pushed Lounsey all the way to the finish.
Yeah, one more lap, as I say in motorsport. So, yeah, good day. The win this morning was fantastic. But you've got to try and keep all this emotion inside because you've got to go and race again. So, great day. Can't wait to come home and see the family. So, it's been a rough one yesterday, but a good one today.
Good comeback, Frosty. Well done.
Thank you.
And Dave Reynolds, great to see you back on the podium after a heartbreak yesterday. You were right up there today. Well done to you.
Yeah, my car was much better in that race, and it's a credit to the boys back there. They've worked hard. We haven't had much pace recently, so it's a good change.
You all deserved it after yesterday. Get up there and enjoy it.
Yeah, thanks, man. Cheers.
Okay, I'm down here with a guy I've been wanting to talk to for a while, Maro. Now, let me tell you, this guy is a ripper bloke. I really like this fella, and I'm looking forward to this conversation, mate, because every time we have it, it's been a bit of a drama. Tell me, in your racing career, and you've achieved a lot, has it ever been so hard to get a position number 9?
Yeah, look, it's pretty tough, definitely. It's a tough championship, as you know, but obviously on top of that, with us developing these cars, it's a tough gig. But I'm just really pleased for the guys. They've had a great weekend. Tim's done a great job, unlucky in the last one, and to come away with 2 top 10s is definitely a big credit and a boost to the team.
And I see your team owner, Betty Clemenco, she was just on screen there, came and gave you a great big hug. I mean, she's put a hug. She's given you a lot of support in this team, and great way to reward her. I know there's a long way to go yet, but it's quite clear this team this weekend has really started to state its case, hasn't it? I mean, with some development.
Absolutely. I mean, typically for the first rounds, we struggled when it was hot. It was hot. Darwin was hot for us, and we went well, so that's a good sign, and definitely real big improvement, and just a big thanks to the whole team for that. And obviously, giving Betty a hug is a great feeling.
Good on you, mate. Great to see you, Maro.
Cheers. See you guys.
Maro Engel, a season best run for him, and puts it into perspective too, because it still is in some ways, in many ways, a development phase for the Erebus Motorsport Mercedes EMGs, but they are starting to run inside the top 10. So the championship picture, 159 points is now the gap between the teammates Whincup and Lowndes. Shane van Gisbergen, a big mover, up into 4th. Barrett's, take it away.
2013 V8 Supercars Sky City Triple Crown Darwin, our race 19 of the year. And would you please congratulate, in first place for Red Bull Racing Australia, Craig Lowndes. In second place for Pepsi Max Crew FPR Ford, Mark Winterbottom. And in third place for the Bottle-O FPR Ford team, David Reynolds. Representing our winning team from Red Bull Racing Australia is Jeremy Moore. Making the presentation of the third place trophy is Jamie Black, the motorsport manager, Red Bull Australia. Presenting to second place is Cam Pearce, the National Marketing Director from our good friends at Cooper's Brewery. Making the presentation to the winning team is Mr. Brad Morgan, General Manager of our naming rights sponsor, Sky City Darwin. And presenting the first place trophy is the Honourable Adam Giles, MLA, the Chief Minister for the Northern Territory. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2013 V8 Supercars Sky City Triple Crown Darwin Race 19 winners.
Win number 92 for Craig Lowndes. And the first time this year that Ford has had 2 drivers on the podium. Davey Reynolds' first trip up there, so a pretty good weekend, and he will celebrate, the only way that he can.